Developing countries like Nepal for ages have faced a problem relating to the performance of government's public financial management. In absence of strong public financial management system, it was always difficult to convince its stakeholders and development partners whether the developmental goals were being achieved. A reliable diagnostic tool was needed to assess the performing situation of public expenditure and financial accountability. That is the reason the Public Expenditure and Financial Accountability or Pefa program was founded in 2001 as a multi-donor partnership between the World Bank, the European Commission, the UK's Department for International Development, the Swiss State Secretariat for Economic Affairs, the French Ministry of Foreign Affairs, the Royal Norwegian Ministry of Foreign Affairs, and the International Monetary Fund. Pefa framework is a mechanism for strengthening public financial management system of a country. It pays high priority to transparency and accountability in utilizing and managing public funds. The core objective of Pefa is to enhance the expenditure management of public funds and reduce associated fiduciary risk. In Nepal, Pefa assessment was conducted in 2007-8. Its report was published in 2008 with 31 globally recognized performance indicators. The report paved way to formulate and implement a development action plan by identifying strengths and weaknesses in the performance of public financial management system of Government of Nepal.
Pefa is one part of our PFM reform initiatives, and we wanted to make some kind of improvement in our traditional type of public finance management. And we had been spending a lot in different activities with the government, the public spending in different activities and so. But we were not able to link with the results. And again, there were some problems with the accountability and other things. Maybe some procedural things were there, some legislative things were there, and some other things were there. But we wanted to have a kind of full compliance and a perfect type of financial management in place. Of course, you cannot expect that everything will be perfect at one slot or something like that. But again, it's a continued process, and we had initiated some kind of reform through this. Some set of actions were identified, and within that activities and set of reform activities, we could attend some level.
Pefa is an indicator-based measurement framework for assessing the performance of a government's public financial management system, process, and institution. By utilizing this framework, we can diagnose the gaps in overall public financial management on indicator-based areas and issues. In other words, it is recognized as a PFM reform agenda which is able to find out the reform needed areas. So, public financial management reform through Pefa is simpler than it looks. It is a cycle starting from assessment of various aspects of public financial management execution and identification of weaknesses, making action plan, and implementation of Pefa reforms. The reason for such weaknesses are investigated and recommendations are made to overcome them, which again help in formulation of next round of PFM action plan. The major aspect of public financial management execution that are looked at by Pefa are credibility of the budget, comprehensiveness and transparency, policy-based budgeting, predictability and control in budget execution, accounting, recording and reporting, as well as external scrutiny and audit.
As per the upgraded Pefa framework in 2016, there are 7 pillars of public financial management system. Under these 7 PFM pillars, there are 31 indicators and 94 dimensions.
On the basis of the first Pefa assessment report, the government has initiated to implement the first phase of reform programs in Nepal, by which a concrete and sustainable PFM reform have been implemented by mobilizing the Pefa Secretariat under the direct guidance and leadership of the PFM Steering Committee, chaired by the Secretary of Ministry of Finance.
Government accounting system are more traditional. It's very hard to make reform in this. Pefa implementation committee, Pefa implementation team also face the same problem. We have different attitude, we have different working behavior, we have different accounting system. So it's very hard to get integrated and convince the people. So it's very hard to make people convince on new agenda of Pefa. Initially, we faced several challenges to implement Pefa in Nepal's government system. The coordination is very critical. Several ministries and several economic entities have different systems. So it's very hard to make unique system on them. We have to face this, and we did it. And now we have good coordination mechanism to implement each and every issues and indicators of Pefa. We are working very hard to get the result.
Pefa Secretariat was established in Nepal in 2009, led by Joint Financial Comptroller General, who acts as the coordinator with 7 professional staff. The Secretariat is accountable to the 12-member Pefa Steering Committee, chaired by Finance Secretary. Pefa practice of 6 years has made some significant changes in Nepal's public financial management. For starters, it has helped planning and budgeting system by improvement in the use of medium-term expenditure framework and adherence to budget calendar. Treasury management system is another sector that has greatly benefited with the implementation of Pefa in Nepal. With TSS system rolled out in 75 districts of the country, 15,000 bank accounts that existed of different spending offices across the nation has come down to less than 1,000. Control in budget execution seems more effective by cross-checking of budget authorization and line item allocation and preventing excess budget expenditures. Time-consuming bank reconciliation has given way to real-time data of day closing and opening and reporting in different forms in short time for decision-making purposes and for timely auditing. Pefa implementation has greatly improved transparency by access of budget execution status on real-time data.
Public expenditure and financial accountability is the benchmark or is the measurement or assessment of the country whole system of public financial management, how we are doing, where are the lacking and where are the room for improvement. That is providing by this Pefa assessment report. Then it was started since 2008. Then first phase was completed in 2012. Then second Pefa assessment started in 2014. On the basis of this Pefa assessment report, the government and then all the constitutional body has started to reform agenda on the Pefa second Pefa assessment, second Pefa reform program. These programs are always considering for the betterment of the country financial accountability and then public expenditure. This is providing a guidance and guidelines for the reform. On the basis of that, the government has already started Treasury single account, then Nepal Public Sector Accounting Standard, then risk-based auditing, and then in the accounting and in the revenue and then tax administration system also there are so much improvement on the basis of this assessment.
Pefa implementation has greatly improved transparency by access of budget execution status on real-time data. The implementation of first phase of public financial management reform programs after the first Pefa assessment gained tremendous progress in creating credible budget and reliable and real-time treasury position management, creating real-time reporting of budget expenditure and revenue collection as IPSIS-based consolidated reporting system was initiated. These are more obvious by FMI's online access to Office of Auditor General. All these PFM reforms make auditing timely and compliant with international standards. These PFM reforms are also reflected in second Pefa assessment report, which mentioned improvement in 19 indicators compared to first assessment. Now, further reforms are continued by the second phase reforms. Reform is developmental process and PFM reform should be continued long-term to go with the global spirit of development. With the implementation of remaining first phase of reform programs, second phase PFM reform action plan was approved by Pefa Steering Committee in early 2016. This is for further improvement over existing weaknesses or gaps identified by the second Pefa assessment report. These reforms will not only upgrade the overall Pefa indicators but also contribute to strengthen fiscal discipline, transparency, accountability and minimize fiduciary risks to establish good governance. It will ultimately support the conversion of Nepal to developing country from the level of least developed.
The basic thing is we are implementing very fundamental tools of government expenditure. Transparency is a major tool which is maintained in each and every government accounting system. We are trying to establish credibility in budget system. Comprehensive and transparency is a crucial role. We have policy-based budgeting and predictability in budgeting system. We want to develop a special law for budget preparation and expenditure management. We have accounting and recording. We have to develop internal control mechanism, and internal control mechanism itself a great treatment which we have to maintain in coming days.